Nancy.
Denise Richards and the lovely Lulu.
Lulu. Now, we have to address this right away when we're getting started, but Lulu is wearing something today. And why is Lulu wearing what is that, a raincoat?
Her raincoat, her hat, her raincoat. I mean, we live in Punta Gorda, and we got 3 inches of rain in a matter of, 48 hours or less?
Did you really?
She is waterlogged. She told me this morning, I'm not going anywhere without my raincoat, Mom.
That's
right.
And
she will not take it off.
She loves it. Even though the sun's shining today, she loves that thing. She's prepared.
She's very prepared. That's correct.
Good job, Lulu. We love it. It's adorable. Hey, today is April 20th. Thanks, everybody, for watching our video. Welcome back to another All Things Home, where we talk about all things in the home and outside the home and around the home. So thanks for watching today. Today is April 20th, and today is National Record Store Day.
Love that. Love that. Do you young folks know what records are? Just curious.
Yeah, young folks, do you know what records are? I know my kids do. Actually, we bought one record player about a year ago, and my son Johnny, he started buying a few different records for it. He had a lot of fun.
I love that your kids are listening to vinyl. That is so cool.
Yeah, he went to some thrift stores and bought some used records. Loving it.
That is so cool. You know what else it is today?
No, what?
It's National Pineapple Upside Down Day. National Pineapple Upside Down Cake Day.
I love pineapple upside down cake.
And the whole day to celebrate it? Can you imagine? The parades, the people would be upside down, there'd be cake everywhere. I just can't imagine a better celebration.
It's going to be crazy out there today. So watch out for the crazy parades for Pineapple Upside Down Cake Day. And today is also National Chinese Language Day.
Oh, very nice.
You know any Chinese languages? Words?
Arigato.
Arigato.
Right?
Okay, what is that? Well, I don't know. What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's in a Styx song.
Is it? Okay. Yes, this show just took another turn. And so National Chinese Language Day. That's pretty interesting.
It is interesting. I think everybody should learn a new Chinese word every day for the next 365 days.
I will teach them one.
You know 365 Chinese words?
I know 2.
Guess you'll be putting that on repeat.
Sachet.
All right.
No, sachet. That's the word.
Oh, what does it mean?
Thank you.
Sachet?
No, it means thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, John. What did we talk about last week?
Man, you moved me right past the Chinese stuff, aren't you? So last week we talked about the good news.
Yes, it was. It is good news.
It's great news.
It is great news.
And it was so good. That's probably my favorite video we've done so far.
It was my favorite because we've had a real heck of a couple of years.
We sure have.
Report good news on inflation was very exciting.
Love it. Came down a little bit.
Yeah, I was happy to tell you guys about that.
And we don't want to spill all the beans on this show. So if you want to see and hear more of that good news Denise and I talked about last week, watch that video and we will explain really good news.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
We'll have more information by then, and don't forget that date, May 10th.
Don't forget it, May 10th. And if you don't know what that means, watch last videos. Okay, listen, let's talk about, people really want to talk to you. Chad's calling you today. You need to talk to him. We can put him on the video today.
It's okay. I should put him on video now.
Chad, he would love that. We need to have him in sometime.
We do.
Chad's a great guy. We'll talk about him later. So I want to talk today about something that we haven't talked about for quite some time. So earlier this morning, I jumped on ChatGPT. You know what that is?
I do. I've heard lots of things about it.
If you don't know what it is, you will soon. But ChatGPT, I jumped on there and I said, what are people that are searching real estate terms? What are they looking for? What are they trying to find right now? What do they want to know about? And this came up, one of the things, and that was steps when looking to buy a new home. That's what people are looking for. When they put in real estate, something they're putting in there is, what are my steps I need to do to buy a new home? So that's what we're going to talk about today.
I think that's a great idea because a lot of people don't have a clue what the first step might be.
No clue. So let's talk a little bit through that. You talk through it from the mortgage lending perspective, and I'll talk through it from the realtor perspective when a buyer calls me and talks to me about buying a home. So the first thing I typically will ask, one of the first things is, I'll ask the person, are they paying cash or are they getting financed?
It's probably the smartest question to ask, and for the consumer, for the home buyer, that's really the first place you should start. You need to determine how you're going to pay for that home.
Yeah. And when they say, I'm getting financed, my follow-up question is, do you already have a pre-approval letter? If they do, great. I need to see that. because the seller of the home that we write the offer on is going to want to see that pre-approval letter with the offer at that time, right when we send it.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't, you know what I do? I send them to you.
That's right.
I say, here's Denise Richards' contact information, not the movie star, the mortgage professional.
The not so famous Denise Richards.
The not so famous Denise Richards. And they'll reach out to you and they'll call you.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do? How do you guide them through that?
Well, from there, sometimes people don't even know what they can afford. And often they don't. I mean, there's a particular calculation that we use in order to pre-qualify or pre-approve a borrower.
Yeah.
So that's a big step in finding out what they can afford, or maybe it's just finding out what payment they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then kind of creating the whole scenario around that.
Yeah.
Whatever is the important piece to them, or what they have to put down, or do they need down payment assistance? There are a lot of variables there, but it's such a big piece of it that before John would present an offer to a seller, he's got to know you've got the money.
Yeah, and also as a buyer, I think sometimes buyers may have a misconception about how much the home purchase price can be. Now you're talking about how much they can afford, yes, but I think maybe when people hear that, at least when I hear that, I'm thinking about monthly payments. Like how much can I afford on my monthly payments, which does transition into how much is the home total cost. Is it $300,000? Is it $500,000? What's the price there, right? Because once you have that piece of the puzzle figured out with the buyer, then they can come to me and go, hey, Denise said we can afford or
This is
comfortable.
what we want. Yeah, this is the
price.
point. Mm-hmm.
And then I can help them set up that search and make sure that they are staying within those perimeters and not buying a home outside of that.
And I think it's real important that that be the first step, and not, oh, I want a pool, or oh, I want a tile roof, or I want to be on the water. There are things that you may or may not be able to get with the payment that you are choosing to have, or that you, on paper, can sustain. So it's real important first step, and then you can talk about, when you know the price point that you're in, right? The definite no's, the definite must-haves.
Yeah, the locations, things like that. So I think that's really important. Another step I would think as a buyer, when I'm coming to Denise, she's going to want to know my credit score, right? You're going to want to know some of that, or no? Not up front.
Not right up front,
Okay.
no. I will ask, is there anything that you want to tell me about before I pull your credit? And some people really know their credit like the back of their hand, and some people just don't have any idea.
Yeah.
And I'm really great at helping guide people through that if they're having difficulties. So sometimes there's some credit building or repairing that has to be done before you're ready for John. So depending on your situation, it's real important that you speak with a lender or your financial planner if you're planning to pay cash.
So what would it benefit somebody then if they had a credit score of, let's say, 640 compared to a 720? Would that benefit them to have a better credit score when they get their loan?
It definitely will, because not only is your interest rate going to be affected by your credit score, the program is going to, it's going to dictate which program. And then if you do have any mortgage insurance, the credit score is a huge factor in that. So.
Yeah. What do you have a suggested credit score target number that you think people should really shoot for, because maybe it's that really nice little tipping point where it does help them out quite a bit? You got a ballpark number there?
Top tier 740.
740. So if you know your credit score, if you don't, and I'll give this little nugget of info, if you don't know your credit score, where to find it, if you have a credit card like Discover Card, I know Amex, those cards will give you your credit score for free. They'll actually show you your real FICO score so that you can see that and manage that. Now, if you're not sure how to get that score up to the 740, talk to Denise or talk to somebody who helps with credit repair type stuff, but just be careful there because there's some bad credit
There
repair
are.
people
I
out
do
there.
have a good one that I recommend
Okay.
for things that are beyond what I can accomplish. But
Perfect.
yeah, John's right. Be very careful.
Yeah, be very careful with that. So steps when buying a new home, first and foremost, talk to myself, talk to Denise. We'll kind of guide you through the process. Check your credit score, see where you're at there. How about securing or holding on or like depositing, making sure they have enough money for their escrow or their down payment? What should they be thinking there?
Well, for a first-time home buyer, the minimum down payment is either 3 or 3.5%.
Okay.
Okay, and even if you're not a first-time home buyer, you could qualify for that in some ways. But we have down payment assistance also.
Okay.
So I think even like the best case scenario, the least amount somebody would have to have at closing would be all of their closing costs.
Okay.
So That's 15,000, 20,000 in today's world, depending on, of course, the price point. But yeah, I mean, those are things that you really want to have in your mind. And again, we can help guide you with that. You know, let you know here's what you're going to need based on your credit profile. Because everybody's different.
Yeah. So I'll recap in numbers what Denise is suggesting there with money to save. So if you haven't saved any money yet to purchase a home, you will want to save a certain amount. Or if you have family or friends who could gift you, maybe it's your first home, your parents want to help out and assist, you can take an assist from a family friend member like that to help with the purchase. Now, what she was saying about like 3.5% for some of the loans that are out there, that would be your minimum, but there's also assist programs. So if your home purchase is $300,000, you need around $10,000-ish dollars, maybe just a little bit more for that 3.5%. Now, on top of that 3.5%, you are going to have closing costs. So, like Denise said, depending on the purchase price, they may be anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. More or less, depending on the purchase price. So you're really going to need probably around $25,000 to $30,000 to make that purchase, unless you can be approved for one of their programs that give assistance to first-time home buyers, where they are taking care of that 3.5% upfront, that $10,000. So you still need your money for closing costs, which will probably be around $15,000-ish, plus or minus, which again can be gifted to you as well.
It sure can. Yep. I mean, it's very, very cool, John. I love the way you explained all of that.
I did a great job. I should get in this industry of selling and buying homes. That's a great idea.
Do you think?
I really do. Let's just jump. This has been a long video, which has been wonderful, and I think it's good because once that offer is made to the seller and it's accepted, then there's a whole nother slew of steps from inspection, appraisal, more underwriting stuff that you guys do, and that's another 10-minute video, so we won't do that today. But the beginning steps when looking to buy a home, I think we've laid them out for you. First of all, I'll let Denise and I know. We'll love to connect them and just keep them moving through the process, right?
There's so many different ways to qualify, so many different types of mortgages. It's real important that you speak with somebody that's familiar with all of it to put you in the right perfect mortgage.
You want to get matched up with the right mortgage that fits you well. Let's talk about this before we leave everybody today. Local connections. Let's connect them with somebody that we haven't talked about for quite some time. Bob and Terri Mehmet. I've known Bob and Terri for 9 years now, maybe.
I love them. I absolutely love them.
Sweet people, great people. We've known them for years. They're in our network group. Bob and Terri are owners of a local bookkeeping
accounting firm, Direct to You Accounting.
Direct to You Accounting. That is the exact name, and we will post their information below. If you are in, you know what? I don't know if they do outside the state of Florida. They may, but I know they do. Anybody in the state of Florida, they will take care of your business books. They will get every record in there for you so that you know what you're making, your profit and loss statements, all that fun stuff. They are wonderful people.
They work a lot with homeowners associations too, so they work on big scale as well as the small business person.
Yes, and I know they have some good accounts here with Massage Luxe and some different companies like that are more chains and franchises.
Oh, that's big.
It is big. I love it. Anyways, we love Bob and Terri. They're great people. They're honest. They're reliable. Reach out to them if you have any bookkeeping needs. They would love to help you. Yep. What else? How do we want to finish this today? It's probably my favorite video so far. I know.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe because Lulu will cry 1,000 tears if you don't.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.